Welcome back to another UNC basketball recruiting podcast here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, our channel, Tar Heel Illustrated, I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones. And joining me, as he always does, our director of basketball recruiting, Clint Jackson. We continue to unveil our series looking at North Carolina's targets for the class of 2021. But before we get into it, if you want to get all the nitty-gritty, all of our intel on the site, go to our message boards and Clint's written content. You got to pay $8.33 a month. You become a member, THI, and you get access to all that stuff. So much more good stuff from Clint. The goodies are on the message boards, but you can only access the premium message boards if you go ahead and become a member of our growing community. And Clint, today we talk about Hunter Sallis, one of the top point guards in the country from Omaha, Nebraska. Not many kids from Omaha, Nebraska come east to play basketball, but Carolina is in pursuit of this young man. You wrote a story about him that ran yesterday, and he's looked at UNC as a possible dream type school for years and years and years. So what can you tell us about Hunter Sallis?
As you said, in the middle of America, Omaha, there's not a lot of great basketball players. So for there to be an elite high major basketball player coming out of there right now is a lot of eyes on him. And fortunately enough, my favorite trip every year is going to Colorado. And the good thing about Colorado is I get to see a lot of these young kids before they blow up. And Hunter Sallis was a guy that when he popped up on the radar, I was excited because I was like, hey, you know what? I've watched that kid play 4 or 5 times, really like him, jumped on the message board, as you talked about, and answered questions and gave my eval, and I felt really good about it. And I like it. I like that UNC is recruiting this kid. And like you said, I think UNC is one of his dream schools. Talked to Eric Bossy the other day, the national recruiting analyst. He confirmed he's a little bit closer to that recruitment than I am. So, smartly, I should reach out and get everybody's opinion, especially if they're a little closer.
A 6'4" point guard in high school is going to see the floor well because there aren't that many big guys, especially in Omaha, Nebraska, high school basketball. However, the thing that impressed me watching this film is his recognition. He sees the floor well and then responds really well and really quickly to what he sees, and he can kind of beat you inside and outside with that recognition.
Yeah, he's a field player. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's a guy who does a really good job of reading and reacting. So, running an offense is probably an area that he's going to need to grow in, systematic stuff. But he's a guy that just kind of, gets on the break, leads the break, and sees his running mates, and he just sort of feels it and reacts to the play. Really like that about him. It was one of my favorite things that I noticed.
He's a point guard, but does he have some two-guard skills? Can you see him playing on the court with another combo-type guard where they both kind of, exercise some of the same roles?
Absolutely. I would actually classify him as a combo guard. You call him a lead guard. You could call him a scoring guard. You could call him a combo guard. I wouldn't say he's a pure floor general like some other guys that UNC's recruited in the past, like a Kendall Marshall. But he's definitely cut in that scoring lead guard mold, and I think he can play on and off the ball. In fact, he does with his high school team.
My favorite question to you in this series is, if there's somebody out there that's watched a lot of this kid play, what is something that might surprise them that you kind of like about his game that is sort of some nitty-gritty stuff about Hunter Sallis?
Well, he's kind of gangly. He's all arms and legs when you look at him. And he doesn't look like a speed burner. And, he's not going to look like Ty Lawson or Ray Felton out there. But he gets by everybody because he's just got great feet. He's got good bursts. He changes speed well, and he can get in the lane. In fact, his best skill is getting into the lane and making things happen. Either he's going to score or he's going to find somebody else to score.
In watching his film, that's one of the things I picked up too. He's got a really good step into the lane, and his body balance keeps him on balance. A lot of guys get into the lane, they get kind of out of control, and they lose the ball, make bad passes, throw up errant stuff. But he looks really under control when he's doing that.
I agree. I just think he's a tremendous prospect, and he's super skinny and he's long. His mom was like one of the best players. I think his mom was actually WNBA player. She was drafted. So he's a guy that when you look at the size of his hands and the size of his feet and the fact that his body hasn't really developed yet, he's a guy he may get a couple inches taller. So, if he ends up being like a 6'6" point guard, he's a weapon. He's so long. And like you said, he can get into the lane and just make things happen. He's got a great feel.
So what's the pulse? Hunter Sallis in Carolina.
I think UNC is in good shape because he really likes them. So there's the emotional factor, and you can't always take that they're going to win the recruitment. But they've offered him. He's really excited about it. He's a UNC fan. He's got a lot of other schools involved. Nebraska certainly wants to keep him in state. Creighton's on him. Gonzaga. Oregon's done a decent job with him, and he's got schools like Kansas in there, and they're gonna they're not gonna give up on him. And I think that if we had an AAU season, this is a guy we'd be writing a lot about right now because I think he was due to explode.
He's Clint Jackson. I'm Andrew Jones. This is another edition of our 2021 Snapshot Series. Kids at UNC is targeting. Scroll down. If you're on YouTube, you can check out a bunch of our other videos we've done on the kids we've already rolled out. We've got plenty more to come. We're doing around a dozen or so kids. So keep checking back here on our channel and on our site to see all of Clint's amazing work. Thanks, Clint.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for stopping by.